James, obviously not the result you wanted last time out. Give me an idea what it took to kind of move past that, kind of, just get beyond what happened last time out.
I mean, it's rough still. It's rough thinking about that because, that was such a big opportunity. If I win that fight, I've talked a lot of trash leading up to that fight, obviously, too. But if I win that fight, the way he wanted, I'm overnight superstar. I'm making probably crazy money at that point and big opportunities coming up. But I got another big opportunity, so I'm optimistic. This is a big co-main event spot on ESPN. The first main card on ESPN, so it's a big spot. I don't dwell on the past as far as my future results. I've lost fights before, and I've came back like it was nothing. I lost an Ultimate Fighter. I lost to Beneil Dariush a few years ago, and I've had really good streaks since then. That's people who take a loss and get messed up over that is just mentally weak, in my opinion.
I know what a student of the game you are, so I kind of wonder what lessons you took out of that. Was it just tactical, or was it something mental? Because you said, there was a lot of trash talk. That was a really tense week and a tense fight. So when you look back, was it a tactical error that you made in the cage, or was it something with the mentality of the whole fight?
It was for sure tactical. I saw a lot of people, even some of the commentators, they were like, "Oh, well, Vick looks nervous in this fight." I wasn't nervous at all. Honestly, I think that's becoming a problem for me. Is I'm not nervous. I don't know how to be nervous at this point in my career, to be honest with you. Because my whole career has been in the UFC. I was only 4-0 when I got in the UFC, and I'd only been pro for about 7-8 months when I got in the Ultimate Fighter. So it was tactical. I let my back get too close to the cage, and I didn't have anywhere to circle out to. And it was more of what he did right than what I did wrong. With the exception of me, obviously being too close to the cage, and I didn't change anything. I went and made those adjustments as best I could, but I didn't change anything besides that.
And then I wonder, when you got this offer, I know you always kind of felt like maybe you weren't getting the respect you deserve, but to be coming off a loss, to get a matchup with a high-profile guy, for it to be in a high-profile card on ESPN, did it feel good? Did it feel like maybe, hey, the company's still showing some faith in me?
For sure. And I talked to Sean Shelby, after my loss, and he was like, he's like, it happens to everybody, James. He's like, just, shake it off. We'll get you a matchup when we can, a good matchup. And it's a privilege, honor to be fighting on ESPN. I grew up watching Friday night fights since I was a kid, and to get the opportunity to fight on this, and Felder's not ranked above me, but with the exception of, I'm probably not going to get anyone ranked above me for this fight, maybe even the next. So I can't ask for a better name value. He brings name value to the bout, so it's really a privilege for me to be in this position for sure.
The last thing for me, I think a lot of people are looking at this on paper and saying, well, this could be a really, really fun fight. But, are you approaching it that way, or do you feel like, hey, man, I got to fight smart. I can't worry about coming in and putting on a show or being entertaining or what have you?
I think it's going to be entertaining regardless of my strategy or his, to be honest with you, because we both want to win. We're both hungry, coming off losses, and we're both strikers, and we both have decent ground games and everything. And, I feel like I have a big edge on the ground, but, his takedown defense and his get-up abilities are good enough that it's probably going to, I'm not going to gas myself out trying to repeatedly go for takedowns on a guy when, takedowns are second nature to me, not first. If the opportunity presents itself, then I'll do something like that. But for the most part, it's going to be a stand-up fight, and I definitely think the fans are in for a treat.
Is there anything you can take away from his last fight? It was against a welterweight. He did break his arm in the first round. Ended up losing a split, but it was basically with one arm.
Yeah, basically, nothing to take away. Just how tough he is. I knew he was tough, and he's known to be a warrior. Obviously, I didn't even study that fight really. I watched it a couple times, basically just the first round, because, what do you expect when someone has one arm? And that was impressive of him to even get a split decision loss with one arm for 2 rounds. So I didn't even study that fight. I studied the rest of it, the rest of the films I've seen of his and the fights I've seen of his, but I didn't even take that one really into consideration.
Now, what do you make of the division right now? The champion's kind of sitting out to the end of the year. Cowboy came back. Felder's back after going up to welterweight for one fight. Where does the win put you in? It's very cluttered near the top.
Honestly, I don't know. That's what I was just telling the audience there. I don't know because, and this is something I said even if I would have won the Gaethje fight, that I would probably still be fighting someone right below me. The way the division's tied up, it's like, it's complicated. I understand, people in the position they're in. I understand, someone like Cowboy, getting a fight with Conor. He's earned that, man. He's been in the UFC he has the most wins in UFC history. And you got guys, Tony Ferguson, Poirier, these guys have put in time. They're probably not interested in fighting someone like me. I would love to, obviously, but I just got to see. Honestly, I got to get a win Sunday, obviously, and then I don't really see anybody ranked above me that I would get that opportunity anytime soon.
So, like Anthony Pettis is going up to welterweight to take a fight. If you can't get an opponent, would you ever move
For
up?
sure, for sure. If at this point it's getting to the point I'm like, man, you know, if I end up, I mean, you know, I can't stand up because I'm coming off a loss though too. At the same time, you know, I'm coming off a loss, so I gotta get what I can get. But this opportunity is big because he is a high profile guy. But if I get asked to fight someone that's not very high profile next fight or something, then yeah, I would probably just say move me up then.
And last one for me, I think between your last fight and now, George Lockhart kind of threw you under the bus saying you were like too much into sweets during your weight
Yeah.
cut. And you tweeted you were giving up sweets outside of fruit. Have you been able to do that?
I mean, it's been a struggle, but it's been good. I've actually did it a lot, and you know, I saw, you know, he called me out on the Joe Rogan podcast. George did, and you know, George loves me. Me and him are like family. You know, I've been working with him for almost 5 years now or longer. You know, and we're very close. And you know, I wasn't upset at all when he said that. I was happy. You know, it didn't bother me. And then I thought about, you know, I just have a son. I have a newborn son, and you know, I'm from a Southern family. We eat horrible foods. We eat so much sugar. We eat fried everything. I don't want my kid to, you know, me and my girl are pretty much on the same base with. I want my kid to eat healthy, and we don't want him to grow up with those habits that we have. So I have to change, and I can't be one of those do as I say, do as I do people. So I have to lead by example for my son as well.
So it's been a challenge.
It has, but not as bad as especially when camp started. When camp started, I was like, you know, it's done, you know, and I did a good job with it.
It's interesting hearing you talk about weight because I think for a while that was something maybe you resisted. Is that something you've started to think about now, just as a potential option? The guys moving divisions is happening more than ever.
Yeah, but you also see, you know, I think we do need that 165-pound division, you know, because some of us are just literally a little too small for welterweight, but a little too big for lightweight. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. You know, there's it's only, but it would be a 10-pound difference for me weighing in. You know, the thing is, you see a lot of guys moving up, but you also see a lot of guys move down, like Cowboy and Yancey Maderson. They realized when they got to that top echelon of people that 10, 15, 20-pound weight difference means everything. They realize it. It's hard for people. My whole career, people's like, oh well, because you're so tall, you know, you need to move up, this and that. But it's hard to tell someone to move up when they've never missed weight one time and they've never even followed the program. They've always cheated at half the time anyway. And I've still made weight. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to tell. You know, it's not getting easier as I get older. I'll acknowledge that. You know, and I definitely don't think if with the 155, I don't have more than another year and a half to 2 years to be here for sure. But 165, I can make that till I'm 40 years old, you know, and I want to fight till I'm 40, so I can make that forever.
Just to piggyback off that one question, what have you done differently in this fight camp than you did in preparation for weight cutting for the Gaethje fight?
I might have just followed the program. I followed George Lockhart's program. Even that being said, it's not easy. I mean, it's my weight got here. I was here about 3.5 pounds lighter than I was for the Gaethje fight, so that's pretty good, you know, because 3.5 pounds when you're at the end means everything, you know. So I was very happy when I got here with my weights, but I'm just following George's program. I mean, I have the best nutritionist in the world. George has over 200 guys in the UFC, and you know, that's like a slap in his face. Me not doing what I'm paying him to do. To be honest with you, so a waste of my money and a waste of his time, you know. So I've decided to, you know, be more disciplined.
Just to follow
Strategically, where do you find your advantages in this fight?
just follow up on what we were just saying about 165. I'm just curious, do you feel like that's inevitable at this point, that we're eventually, at some point, going to get that?
I keep hearing it. You know, I keep hearing before the end of the year. Obviously, Dana's saying no way there's going to be a 165-pound division, but he always says that. So I'm optimistic, and I think a lot of us are optimistic, you know, because, I mean, I think I can move up to 165 and be immediately ranked in the top 10. And that's another thing for 170 is I'll move up, I have to start all over. It's taking me 9 wins. I'm 9-2 in the UFC. I mean, I have the same record in the UFC as McGregor, Wonder Boy, Yoel Romero. It's taken me this long in my division because there's so many guys. It's taken me this long to even be ranked in the top 10, top 15. So if I would have to turn around and win 3 or 4 more fights, at least 3 to get ranked in the top 15 at welterweight. So it'd be like almost like starting over for me, you know.
When you say there's a lot of optimism among us, I'm curious who the us is. Like, is that something that you and fellow lightweights talk about often?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, well, I see it on social media all the time. Everyone campaigning for a 165-pound division. I see it all the time. You know, I stay active on Twitter, especially, you know, a lot, and I see it all the time, for sure.
Strategically, where do you see your advantages in this fight?
I think that I'm a better striker than him. I think I'm definitely a better grappler than him as well. But I mean, we're probably not going to be going to the ground. I think that, you know, I did an interview with who was it the other day? I think MMA Junkie maybe, and they were asking me about getting the knockout loss and everything. I said, you know what? Anytime I lose, it's probably going to be by knockout because unless you get the highest of level wrestler that can hold me down, I'm not going to accept losing the decision. I feel like he's been outpointed multiple times. All of his fights have been lost by decision. Now you can look at it as, oh, he's got a tough chin and he's hard to finish, or you can look at it like he didn't turn it up and do what he had to do to take that risk to get that win, you know. So I'm not going to lose the decision. So I feel like I can win this fight, knockout, submission, or decision. I feel like the only way he has to win this fight is a big shot like Gaethje landed is by knockout.
So, because of that, are you looking to be more on the outside and middle range as opposed to the inside range?
Well, I'm always, you know, I'm an outside fighter. You know, I'm a counter fighter. I am who I am. You know, so I'm always fighting. You know, I'm always looking to be on the outside, and the goal is to hit, not get hit. But I mean, I know if I have to bite down that mouthpiece, you know, I'm game for that. I've always been game for that. And we get inside the clinch. Both of us are probably going to be throwing knees and elbows and stuff as well. So, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to try to keep it on the outside. I'm sure he's going to obviously try to get inside. So it's probably going to be a mixture of both.
Is the shaved head, is that the look going forward, or?
Okay, well here's the thing. So I'm getting thin on top, and after the Gaethje fight, I was getting so much backlash anyway because I talked so much crap. So I went home the next day and I was like, I'm done. I shaved it. I was like, I'm not gonna be that dude trying to hold on to his hair. So I'm done. And see, I eased him into it. See, right now I'm just doing the bare metal razor part,
right,
or the metal the electronic one.
Right.
Then I'm gonna slowly go with the actual razor. I'm easing them into it.
Good look, good look.
Thank you.
Bald is beautiful.
Thank you.
Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Well, I didn't choose this life; it chose me. But hey, you got to go with it, you know. Hey, I'm not going to be that dude trying to hold on to his hair.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Got one more stop here before we say hi.
Okay.